third grade, Mrs. Wade here for Crazy Hair Day. I hope you had fun today, maybe getting your hair a little crazy and having a little fun with that. Welcome to math. Today we've got a short lesson today on more multiplication. I know you guys are powering through. I looked through your homework from yesterday and everyone did amazing. You're doing such an awesome job. So let's take a look. We're in chapter 10, lesson 8. Okay, if you want to follow along in your book, it's page 350 and 351. So yesterday we looked at multiplication by 3-digit numbers, so like 234 times 2. Now we're going to add in some more regrouping to that. Yesterday you didn't have regrouping on your homework, now you are, so we're going to get lots of practice with that. So let me pull up my, my smartboard lesson so we can get that started. Okay, so 3-digit multiplication, we're also going to end up doing 4-digit. So first, let's learn how to do 3-digit multiplication with regrouping today. So let me make this a little bigger so we can see. I'll move me over there. So it really just goes with following the steps. So step 1, I want you to think, you got to keep them in your column. So say we were doing 254 times 6. What I want you to go ahead and do is follow along with me with my spotlight. If you look, we're going to go in the ones column. So first you're going to go 4 times 6 gives me, and I like how they said, think 6 ones and 4 ones. If we times those together, we get 24 ones, or which is the same thing as 2 10s and 4 ones. So I take my 2 up here, put my 4 down here. Step 2 over here. They want you to now think of, now I've got to go from the 6 to the 5. They want you to think of 6 ones and 5 10s there. So 6 times 5 gives me 30, but I've got that 2 up there, so I've got to add that. So now I'm at 32. So I'm going to start by putting the 2 down here in the tens column and the 3 on top here of that other 2. Step 3, we want you to think 6 ones times 2 hundreds. Okay, so 6 times 2 gives you 12. But I have to add 3, that gives me 15. So there we took it step by step by step. So do little by little as you go along. So first make sure multiplying your ones to your tens to your hundreds, but make sure you don't forget those numbers that you were regrouping. Okay, let's try some together. Let me get my draw feature out. Okay, so let's try this one together. And I went ahead, sometimes if it helps you to put the lines going down, go ahead and do that. So 4 times 4 gives me 16. So that means I'm going to put 1 here and my 6 right down here in the ones column. Now I'm going to go 4 times 6 gives me 24, but I have a 1, so that makes it 25. So I'm going to first start put 20, my 2, and then my 5 here. Now I've got to go to my hundreds. 4 times 5 gives me 20, plus 2 gives me 22. So my answer to that one is 2,256. Okay, let's try a few more. Clear my drawings. Okay, so here's the next. Here's another one. Okay, 5 times 6 gives me 30. Now watch what I do here. Sometimes you guys get confused a little by this, which is understandable. 5 times 6 gives me 30. I put my 3 here, and yes, I put my 0 here. Okay, I'm going to go to my next one. 6 times 2 gives me 12, plus 3 gives me 15. I'm going to take my 1 here from the 15 and my 5 here. Beautiful. I'm doing it organized so that I keep it, I don't lose track. Now the last one. 6 times 9 is 54, plus 1 gives me 55. Okay, so there's my answer to that problem. Okay, let's try. We're going to try a few more just to make sure you've got this, and it gives you much more practice. Always feel free whenever we're doing any of these smart boards, take out a piece of paper, write it down. I'll give you a second, and then solve it with me, or see if you can solve it faster than me and make it a challenge to you. 7 times 5 gives me 35. Put my 3 up here, my 5 down here. I go to my tens column. 5 times 4 gives me 20, plus 3 gives me 23. I put my 2 up here and my 3 here. 5 times 2 gives me 10, and I add 2, I get 12. So there, I take it step by step. Did you get it done before me? Okay, let's try another one. Okay, the next problem here, 730 times 5. Now, one thing we often forget, anything times 0 is 0. So 0 times 5, I get 0. Look, we didn't have to regroup there. So now let's look what we have next. 5 times 3 gives me 15. So I'm going to regroup. I'm going to put my 1 up here, my 5 down here, and I have to do over to my hundreds column. 5 times 7, 35 plus 1 is 36. Okay. So that gives you a few just examples of how to go ahead and about this. So your homework today, it's not the whole workbook sheet. If you pull out your workbook to page 132, that's your workbook page for today. So let me pull that up and we can go through a few of them together. Okay, so on here, you are only, I am not making you do the whole page today. It's a lot, it's quite a bit if you were. So you're only gonna do numbers 1 through 20, okay? You do not need to do 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, or this 26 that's down here underneath. Okay, nope, you don't need to do those. So let's do a few of these together. We're gonna do 1 and 16 together right now to give you a head start. Okay, so let's do it. 8 times 3 gives me 24. Okay, now I'm gonna go 3 times 3 is 9. I add 2, I get 11. So I'm gonna put my 1 here and then the other one right here. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 gives me 7. So that should be your answer to number 1. Okay, let's try number 16. So here we have one that's a 4-digit number. You just keep going across. You're just gonna, this time you're gonna go from the ones to the tens to the hundreds to the thousands column. So let's start here. 3 times 3 equals 9. 3 times 7, I get 21. I'm gonna put my 2 up here, my 1 right down here in the tens. 3 times 2 is going to give me 6. And then this was a 2. Plus 2 gives me 8. Now I didn't have to regroup again, but here I'm gonna go 3 times 2 gives me 6. So there you had each of your, you went just down the line. Each of these are going to, most of them are gonna have regrouping. Basically, if you need to regroup, regroup. If you don't need to regroup, don't regroup, okay? Don't doubt yourself with that. Just go ahead and do that. So 3rd grade, all you have is workbook page 132, numbers 1 through 20. Don't do the other ones. Submit that in through your Google Forms that you can find with this assignment, and make sure you press mark is done. You guys, I hope you have a wonderful Easter weekend, and I miss all of you so much. I hope you go outside and enjoy some time with your family right now as we celebrate Jesus being risen. Have a great weekend. Bye.